Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello, everyone. Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Lidia Sicilia. She is the wellness warrior and host of Health and Wellness on 416 in the city. How are you doing this morning, Lidia?
I'm doing fantastic, Brad. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm happy to have you here, and I thank you for agreeing to be a guest and help participate in my mission for women's empowerment. I appreciate it.
I'm so happy that a male is taking on this role.
Thank you. How's your morning going so far?
It's pretty good. It's my daughter's grade 8 graduation, and we're having a few friends over. We're going to be respecting as best as we can social distancing. Yeah, just to help celebrate. You know, it's been quite the year for everybody, but I feel mostly for, our young kids that are graduating, be it elementary or high school. They're missing out. And so I wanted to make this as special as I could for her.
That's awesome. So you have a lot going on. You're a certified life coach, a yoga instructor, a Reiki practitioner, a foot reflexologist who leads guided meditations. And you're also the host of a health and wellness show on 416 in the city platform. You're also a 2-time cancer survivor. I mean, just incredible. How do you have time to squeeze in all these things you do?
Well, the thing is I'd like to clarify in saying that although I'm certified in all of these different modalities, the truth is the certification came as a way of going on the journey of healing myself. And that's why I acquired so many certifications.
Okay. Interesting. So how has being a 2-time cancer survivor changed your outlook on life and how you decide to now live your life?
It's actually evolved over the years. I would say that a diagnosis of cancer, with the primary cancer that I had, which was Hodgkin's lymphoma. I mean, I didn't have, my odds were 85% curable for that cancer. And so it's kind of hard to get that diagnosis and sort of feel sorry or, like you're getting a devastating diagnosis. So I would say that right from the beginning, I chose to take on a positive mindset, and it was really more for my own emotional well-being. I felt like if I had broken down at the time, it would have been difficult for my support system around me to be there and to be strength for me. So I kind of felt like it was my responsibility to set the tone in which I needed to carry me through my treatments.
It's not always easy, though, to get into that mindset and just adapt and jump into it. I mean, you've just been told you have cancer, and then to just be able to switch, like flip that switch and change your mindset. I mean, that's got to take a little bit of time at least, because, I mean, you have to get used to the fact that you've just been told this and come to grips with it, I guess, and realize it and then get into that mindset. But I mean, it couldn't have been that easy to get into that mindset, was it?
It actually was. And I'll explain you a little bit more of the backstory.
Sure.
So in 1997, my dad had a massive heart attack at a Valentine's Day dance with my mom. And he collapsed as he wished, quick and on the dance floor. And so, you ask and you shall receive, right?
Right.
And I don't know what your background is, but my background is Italian. And, sometimes in these big European families, there's so many personalities and there's so much programming and conditioning that when a death occurs, especially unexpected, my dad was very young. He was 58 years old.
Wow.
A lot of stuff came to the surface within my immediate family that I was born into. And my siblings are 11 and 10 years older than me. So there was a fight. There were words. There was a lot of emotions. And so for 4 years after my dad's death, my mom, my sister, and myself, we did not have a relationship with my brother or his family.
Oh, wow.
And so when the diagnosis came,
Mm-hmm.
and I was brought in for my biopsy that night, when we got home from the hospital, it was my sister who took me and my godfather. When we got home to my mom's house, there was a house full of relatives. And the first people I saw were my brother, my sister-in-law, and my two nephews. And so in that moment, Brad, I felt like my dad was working through me with this curable diagnosis as a way of reuniting our family. And as I say this, I get goosebumps.
I'm sure.
Because that was the first evolution for me in realizing that something was happening that I didn't understand, that was beyond me, but I knew that I was a strong person, and that if it had to come to me getting cancer in order for my brother to come back into our lives, I embraced it. And so that's why I say, for me, it was an easy mindset to take on.
Right. Now I understand. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. Your dad working through you to bring the family. That's very interesting for sure.
I mean, that's my take.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. Can I confirm it? No, but that's really how I believed it, right? And so that's just how I chose to live it.
Yeah, exactly. So why did you decide to get into the world of becoming a life coach, and how long have you been a life coach now?
The life coaching is actually one of the last certifications that I got.
Okay.
I would say that I feel that I've always sort of been a life coach. And, for me, what that means is being able to be supportive, being able to hold space for somebody, being able to provide a network of different, modalities, therapies, resources. I've always had this feeling like, I guess because I came so many years later and I always wanted younger siblings to keep me company.
Yeah.
I kind of became that person in my life that was very protective of the people around me. And so I just think it's a nurturing feeling inside me that wants to see people do well.
Yeah.
I've always been doubted. I've always sort of been, made to feel like I wasn't enough. And it's taken
horrible.
it's taken a lot of work. And this is even after cancer, never mind before. So it's taken a lot of inner work. And I want to be able to give people what I felt I needed along this healing journey.
That's pretty amazing. It's quite a selfless journey you're on. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
What is it that inspires or excites you about being a life coach?
Just giving people that empowerment to know that they can do things for themselves to change their lives. I heard this said, and I don't remember who said this to me, but inspiration is when someone lights a fire under you. Whereas empowerment is when that fire is now lit within you. And so I have been told
awesome. I love that.
I know, isn't it? That was so profound to me when I heard that. And so I feel like that's what gives me the most joy is when you see somebody's wheels spinning like, oh yeah, I got this, because now they know that they're self-reliant. They don't need to depend on people outside them for whatever it is they're endeavoring, whether it's happiness, peace, health, love, wellness, whatever it is that they're seeking.
It is a pretty incredible feeling when you can light a fire under someone or make them realize the fire inside them, inspire or empower them. It's a great feeling to know that you're able to do that for another human being and make them feel good about themselves.
I'd agree.
How long have you been a yoga instructor, and what interested you in becoming a yoga instructor? Why yoga?
I wasn't looking to be a yoga instructor. In fact, where I took my certification at Blue Door Yoga Room, which no longer exists, Carla, who was the owner at the time, had advertised the program as self-development / yoga teacher training. And at the time, there were so many things I was going through emotionally. This was now in 2011 is when I was certified. So I began the course in 2010. And there were so many things that were coming to the surface for me after the journey. My first diagnosis of cancer came in 2001. And then as a result of those treatments that I got for Hodgkin's lymphoma, 1 in every 10,000 patients develops a secondary cancer. My secondary cancer was leukemia. And it was AML leukemia, which for anyone that knows about leukemia, it's one of the rarest forms. And so after that, the healing journey for me is really where I feel I was able to meet myself. Because when you're going through something, I was in that doing mode. I wasn't really absorbing and processing what was happening.
Right.
And so I had already, in between Hodgkin's lymphoma and leukemia, had been certified as a foot reflexologist. And so I kind of dabbled into that holistic world through foot reflexology. And again, there was stuff going on within the family that really affected the way that I was seeing myself.
Right.
And so I needed to start to see myself through my own lenses and not through the lenses of people that didn't hold me in a high regard. And so when I saw this advertised as self-development, I thought, that's it. That's what I need. I need to develop self. What is self? And so that's how yoga became to be. It wasn't that I was looking to become a certified yoga instructor. In fact, after I paid for the course, and I had my discussion with Carla, she said to me, so at the end, you'll be certified. Make sure that, if you want to be part of the Yoga Alliance. And I was kind of confused, like, what do you mean? And she said, Lydia, you're taking a course that's going to, certify you to be a yoga instructor. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even touch my toes without bending my knees. Like, how the hell am I going to teach yoga?
Too funny.
So when I say that these certifications came as a way of me healing, it really was.
Yeah.
And that certification opened my eyes, it opened my heart, and it opened my mind to things that were beyond my understanding and that actually resonated with me in my soul more than what I've had ever heard before. So things like learning about chakras and what they mean and how they really can impact our overall well-being, and how that's like karmic energy that we bring over from life to life. And the triggers are the gateways into healing and evolving and expanding our souls. That really resonated with what I believed in terms of illness and disease to begin with, which is what I love to advocate for, which is emotional well-being. So my belief, and there is a school of people that believe that your emotional hurts and traumas are actually what can create and manifest and harbor illness, dis-ease, conditions, ailments in the body. So when I looked up in Louise L. Hay's book what Hodgkin's lymphoma meant and what leukemia meant, for me, it just made so much more sense than, oh, it's an environmental cancer. Because if it's environmental, then why don't more people get diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma? So it just made me believe, and it made me reflect inward that my internal environment was not healthy. It has, and I don't want to, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. But in terms of connecting dots, it just made more sense to me to look at life through those lenses versus, we all have cancer cells, and it's the environment in which you grew up in. Like, I don't know. I don't discount that, but I feel like there's this other component to our health and wellness that is just now starting to become a conversation that people are understanding and grasping, that the way that you feel internally, beyond saying, stress kills. Absolutely, stress kills. But what's causing the stress?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Where's
it's
the
not so
root
much
of it?
exactly what's it rooted in. Yes, circumstances outside of us can cause us stress, but if we're not if we don't have tools to stay grounded within ourselves, or if we don't have tools to stay calm and in peace within ourselves, then we will always be affected and impacted by our outside environment.
It's pretty incredible that you were able to sort that out and learn that through yoga and through your other teachings. Amazing.
Thank you. I mean, it's amazing for me because it's offered me a different perspective.
For sure.
That
Absolutely.
I hold myself accountable all the time. So, there's when you point that finger outward, there's 3 fingers pointing back.
Inward.
So,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. So like, it just really taught me that practice of going back inward.
Amazing. So you mentioned chakras. You also teach guided chakra meditation. So can you explain a bit about what that is for us?
It's a beautiful experience is what it is.
Okay.
So I love to do it in groups of 7 because those are the 7 main chakras. There are, as far as tantric yoga has stated, there's 28. There's a whole bunch of people that believe there's like different numbers, but as for what's been stated, there's 28, but we focus on the 7 main chakras, which are energy vortexes that go along the vertical of the spinal column, and they begin at the base, so like at your tailbone, and they work their way up. So you've got your root chakra, and I mean, when you hear it explained, for me, again, it just, all the bells and whistles went off like, yes, that makes sense. So use the analogy of a house, right? When you're building a home, you want to build a home on a strong foundation, right? If there's any sort of crack or fracture in that foundation, everything that rises above that is going to be impacted, correct?
Right.
As is with the chakras. So when you begin at the root, which represents our security, our safety, our sense of belonging, right? If that is not balanced, you can and will feel the effects of that in emotions, in areas, let's say, where those chakras are. So people who have, let's say, a lot of lower back pain, for example, it's like they're feeling like they're not supported.
Right.
If you ask the questions and you explore with what the ailments
inside,
are,
right?
You look inside and you get to understand how, if you have pain in your shoulders, for example, you're carrying that weight of the world on your shoulders, and maybe you're not expressing it and you're internalizing. So it falls, the shoulders fall in the neck region where your throat chakra is, but the shoulders also fall into the heart chakra because that's underneath the shoulder girdle, right? So you can begin to make connections with what's happening externally into what's happening internally, be it in the way you're feeling in your body, be it in your thoughts, be it in any sort of, again, conditions, ailments, dis-ease that come up for you in your health.
It's all tied into your internal. You have to look inside to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
Interesting. That's very, very interesting stuff. How have all these things you have under your belt in terms of your certifications helped you with your own health and wellness for getting into all of these different areas? I mean, I know you've mentioned that they were part of the reason why you pursued them, but overall, how has this helped you?
I feel like it's helped me overall because it's just given me more self-awareness because of the practice of going inward, and so that's probably for me the biggest change with having all of these certifications is just having more self-awareness. And that comes from, again, going inward and looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you grew up in the GTA and ever went to the exhibition, during those 2 weeks that they're open, there was the fun house, right? And in the fun house, there's all those different mirrors that make you look kind of different, wide, tall, wobbly.
Yeah.
And you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh my God, I don't look like that. Ew, I don't want to look like that. Oh, that's so gross, right? Well, so is that inner journey, because it's not all rainbows and butterflies.
No.
The way that a lot of people in the wellness world like to make it seem. It's really not. It's probably, other than parenting, it's probably one of the hardest things that you can do, because you really need to know yourself. And in order to know yourself, you have to go in, and you have to understand where some of the behaviors, some of the beliefs or thoughts stemmed from, and not as a way to blame a person or a circumstance outside of you, but more just to gain an understanding.
Right.
As to why things are that way.
I would say a lot of the time, though, people don't want to look inside because they're scared of what they'll see. Yes.
Yeah. Like, who wants to go into a scary cave where you're hearing bats and you're seeing cobwebs and there's no light?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Exactly.
But it's not for the weak at heart. But I promise you, if you do dabble into this sort of work, you will gain such awareness of yourself, and that just helps build your confidence and belief in what you're capable of. Because I've heard a lot of people say to me, you're such an inspiration, and I sometimes don't understand why they say that, because I feel like they're still at that surface, at the surface of, oh, you're so inspiring and strong because you've been through cancer. Not for anything, Brad. It wasn't cancer that made me strong or brave or inspirational. I really believe, when I look at myself, it's the journey after. It was the journey to healing that really separates and makes me stand out from the majority that, like you said, don't want to go in to do that work.
The journey, the internal journey, and that's it, putting in all that work, because let's be honest, that takes a hell of a lot of work.
I've been doing this for 15 years.
See, there you go.
I've been doing it for 15 years, and I would say in the past year, it's all sort of coming together. It's all finally blending and meshing together. Right.
Now, you tell us about the show on health and wellness that you host. How long has the show been running?
Oh my God. So the show's been running since February, and this has got a little bit of a backstory too.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm a huge believer in connection. And it's not just like connections with souls. Like, I like to connect numbers that are significant to me, to letters, to help me understand, times, like looking at the clock and it's like 1:11. It's like, okay, so there's, people surrounding me. My guides are with me. So it was in November. It was, to be exact, November 22nd, which was my 16-year remission anniversary for leukemia. And I work part-time at Starbucks in Bradford, Ontario. And these two men walked into our store, and I want to add, they were two Black men. And all of our customers were looking at these two guys, because one was on a phone recording and the other one had a microphone talking. And like, everyone was looking at them like, oh my God, who are these guys and what are they doing here? And then there's me at the register, and I'm like, oh my God, who are these guys and what are they doing here? Like, I was so excited to serve them. I couldn't wait for them to get to the counter.
Yeah.
And we're trained at Starbucks to make connections with our customers.
Right.
And asking, like, hi, how are you? How's your day going? And so that's what I did. And they answered. They're like, oh, my day is good. We're just coming from Sault Ste. Marie, making our way to the airport. How's your day? And now for people who know me, I love to talk because I love to connect, because I noticed when I speak, people hear. And they resonate with what I'm saying. So I said to them, today's a fantastic day for me. I'm celebrating my 16-year remission from my second cancer. And that was all they needed to hear. They were like, oh my God, God is great. You're a miracle. You're like an earth angel. And everybody, let's give her a round of applause. And they were like asking the customers in the store to give me this round of applause. And I'm like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I was a little embarrassed, but I was so excited at the same time.
Inside, you're like, yes.
I was dying. I'm like, oh my God. It's like when people
like
say
a little
happy
kid,
birthday
right?
to you, like it's exciting, but it's almost like, oh my God, all the attention's on me. So
Yes.
like you're a little bit embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
We exchanged Instagram pages. There was an immediate connection with the gentleman that was recording. He was the more quiet one of the two.
Okay.
So the following day, I sent a direct message, and I literally looked like Sunday morning. I hadn't washed my face. I couldn't get these guys out of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And like hair up in like one of these messy ponytails. Like I literally don't even think I washed my face. And not only did I send them a message, but I sent a video message. Because for me, it's important to represent myself authentically.
For sure.
And real.
Yeah.
Right? So I have done so much work that I love myself with makeup, without makeup, braless, made
That's
up, not made
awesome.
up. Like
I
it
love
doesn't
it.
matter. I'm so comfortable in my skin right now that the confidence is there at all times.
Right.
So through these direct video messages that I was sending, we
Mm-hmm.
stayed in touch back and forth. He would respond and he's like, oh my God, we're in Europe. And I was trying to understand what they did. So we finally made a meeting to get together in January. And we met at the studio, which is in Scarborough, Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as these men had made an impact on me and our communication, made an impact on me, I made an impact on him. And he's the CEO and president of 416 and the city. And what he does is he's in entertainment and in the event planning. So he scouts artists, hip hop, reggae artists. He brings them on tours. He does concerts in Canada, the US, the Caribbean, in Europe. He also hosts a lot of Caribbean type festivals here in Toronto.
Okay.
And so when we got together, he's like, oh my God, Lids. So he either calls me Lids or Sis. So he's like, Lids, you have no idea how much you've inspired me. Like, he had just purchased airtime on Rogers and Bell. It's a subscribed channel, the Tamil channel.
Okay.
And he has a video countdown show that's a half an hour. But when you're purchasing airtime on TV, you have to purchase it an hour at a time.
Right.
So he has this other half an hour that he's paying for that he doesn't have any programming on. So as a result of meeting me and as a result of our communication, he was inspired to start a new segment on his platform for health and wellness.
Oh, very
and he
cool.
wanted it to be me.
Wow.
That was the host. So I was like, of course.
Gladly, I'll do
I get
that.
to talk more? What do you mean, of course?
And on TV?
And so that journey began. And I was at a place in my life where I was, like I said, it's been about a year of things coming together for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of things going on in my personal life and my marriage where things were really uncertain. And I was walking on like uncharted territories, like my husband and I were talking about separation and all this stuff. And typically in the past, what I would have done, Brad, is I would have kept myself small.
Right.
And I would have backed out from doing something like this. I would have had all those same feelings of excitement, of feeling honored, of feeling, wow, like this is a beautiful opportunity. But then I would step right back and I'd keep myself small. And this time I felt like, this is 2020 and there is no way I'm going to keep myself small for anybody.
I'm doing it.
And I'm going to stick to it. And I owe it to myself and I owe it to my kids, most especially to my daughter.
Yeah.
Because I do have a 14-year-old daughter and it's important for me to teach her that she has a voice and she doesn't have to settle and that she can absolutely achieve anything she puts time, work, and effort into.
These are such important lessons for kids, especially at a young age.
But so I want to go back to my kids in a minute. I just want to finish that story.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I've stuck to it. Stuck to it. And like many, COVID happened. And I had like 6 episodes recorded.
Oh man.
We were getting a lot of interest. Richard from 416 in the city has contacts at Netflix that were reaching out to him about our health and wellness show.
Wow.
So there was a lot of buzz. There was a lot of buzz about our show. And
Amazing.
so when COVID happened, I was like, what the bleep?
Yeah.
You know, like here I am finally committing to myself. And now there's this COVID that we have to be quarantined. And now people are operating from fear again. And like all this work I've done to like be at a place of peace within me, this is happening. And so I felt really discouraged for a little bit, but I didn't stop.
Good.
I took a pause to reevaluate, to figure out what was happening within my home. We sold our house really quickly. We were still talking about separating up until quarantine happened.
Right.
And then we made the decision not to make any big decisions like this.
Right.
But going back to the kids.
Yes.
It hasn't been an easy transition for me. I got pregnant 2 months after I got married. I wasn't even 2 years in remission. I was told that I may never be able to get pregnant. My oncologist was so upset with me. He was like, you don't even know if you can get pregnant. Why are you going to put yourself at risk? Your immune system, becomes suppressed when you're pregnant, and you're inviting something to come back. You're within this range of time that's very scary. And I had said to him, that's fantastic. Thank you for your concern. However, I have cousins that have been trying to get pregnant for 20 years with no luck. And so it's not your call.
Right.
This is God's will. This is God's will. And I'm not a religious person, okay? But I'm a spiritual person. And I said, if I'm meant to get pregnant, I will. And if I'm not meant to get pregnant, it's not going to happen. But you're not going to tell me that I shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
That same month, the end of the month, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter.
Wow. Incredible.
When I said to my husband 2 years later, like, listen, I want to, or like a year later, like, maybe we should try, because who knows? Maybe that was a fluke. Maybe we got pregnant with Alessia by chance. Let's see. Because I wanted to know if my body was working properly after all those treatments.
Yeah, for sure. Of course.
When we set out to try to get pregnant with our son, that same month we got pregnant.
Wow.
And so I felt I actually had guilt. I had a lot of guilt that I was able to get pregnant so easily after everything that I had been through. And then I had guilt because when my daughter did come along and then my son came along, I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed by it. I did not know what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
And, with kids, once they're here, the lesson is too late, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so it took me many years, because my healing journey started when my daughter was pregnant. When I was pregnant with my daughter.
Yeah, yeah.
And so all of this work that I've been doing has been with kids. Wow. And I absolutely needed to do the work.
For sure.
I felt compelled that I needed to break traditional patterns. I needed to break conditioning and programming. And it was not an easy transition for me to be a mom. It really was not. So I put that out there, because I really don't like to represent myself in a way that's not authentic. So,
right.
Being in this wellness world is not rainbows and butterflies. And for me personally, the journey to motherhood was very difficult. I feel like if I had done some of this inner work prior to becoming a mom, then maybe I would have been able to embrace my role sooner.
Right. Can we go back to the show for a second?
For sure.
How do you find the guests for the show, and where can people watch the show? Where can they find the show?
Well, like I said, I love to make connections. And so I'm always networking, and I'm reaching out to people that appeal to me. So if I read their posts or see a video and they're speaking on topics or offer services or just have a brilliant heart and mind, and they resonate with me, then I like to explore that. And so I reach out. I just reach out to people. I've been reaching out to people for a long time.
Yeah.
They can find me on Instagram at Lidia, Lidia underscore Sicilia SICILIA underscore wellness.
Okay.
They can find me on my website at www.lidiasicilia.ca. I need people to be in alignment. There needs to be a connection, not just good conversation. There needs to be a connection between my guests and myself. And I feel that that's why I've been doing well with the show. We have on average 2,000 people that watch our lives because we're not in studio. I know, isn't that crazy? Brad, so I follow LL Cool J and I go onto his lives and sometimes he only has like 1,200 people. And I'm like, but this is LL Cool J, guys. Like, why does he only have 1,200 people? And who am I, Lidia Sicilia, to have like 2,000 people, almost 3,000 people at times?
That's insane.
And I really just feel that it's because I represent myself authentically and I'm willing to share my life and health experiences in a vulnerable way and in a way that don't highlight me. Sometimes it shows, like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I think that resonates with people when they see something real.
Yeah. So right now, currently, it's on Instagram, but before COVID hit, where was it being hosted? Where were you?
It was being hosted at the recording, like at the actual network, which is, like I mentioned, it's a subscribed channel that's both on Bell, Vibe, and Rogers Ignite. And we never actually had our episodes edited. So we never aired any of our episodes yet.
I see. So how are you liking it on Instagram? I mean, obviously the response is really good.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really do. I feel very comfortable speaking. I feel comfortable in front of the camera. I feel like I can have a conversation with anybody. I am not an educated person per se, like with post-secondary education. In fact, I don't even have my high school diploma.
Right.
However, I have, I have schooling that you can't buy. I
Life
have
experience.
School of hard knocks.
That's right. Absolutely. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats life experience. No matter how many degrees you have, it doesn't beat life experience.
I believe that too.
So to date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
Oh, wow. My greatest win is self-love. Really.
Awesome.
It wasn't easy to get here, but I'm here. I've arrived.
Good for you. That's awesome. Congratulations on that journey. That's amazing because like we said earlier, it takes a lot of self-exploration and a lot of work, a lot of hard work.
Yes. Absolutely.
Can you share a situation that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight as to your character?
I mean, other than the experience of cancer, I think that was really the beginning of that type of mindset. And I was mentioning my husband and I at the beginning of this year, we're talking about separating. And during that time, and we're still there, like we're still in these conversations. We're living together as a family. However, I don't know that we're going to make it, once we're done with the lease of this home that we're currently in. But at the time when this started to come up, I had to, and this is that mode that I was saying I kind of get into. I had to look at it and say, because I know a lot of women who've been through divorce and everybody and their neighbor wants to, sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's okay. When you're talking about divorce or separation, your community. These
women are all like, and child support payments, and he's not paying, and the new girlfriend, and the this, and like there's so much anger, and there's so much hurt, and there's so much resentment and hostility, and the kids get in the middle of this, and then agencies get involved, like the police, and it's just insane. Yeah. And so I thought to myself, oh my God, I can't be that. I can't be that person because it's going to affect me and it's going to throw me off of my inner peace and balance. And so I thought I need to adopt to this mindset of however he chooses to behave throughout this process is a reflection of him. And how I choose to react is a reflection of me. And so where he was saying, I want a divorce, I was saying, maybe what we need is a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
physically living a year apart from one another so we can decide and differentiate between whether this is something that we want
Mm-hmm.
or it's just that we need that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of that because I feel like in the past, before I reached this place of inner peace, I used to really get caught up on things and I couldn't let them go and they would consume me. And so to be able to have this new mindset and this new approach has really served me well and has served my kids well. And it's actually served both my husband and I well because the communication, like there was no engaging in the arguing. There has been so many years of that prior to this that you can't fix something with what it started with.
No, very
so
true.
if it starts with hurt, you're not going to be able to fix it if you're still hurting.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So I would say that for me is probably one of the things that I'm most proud of.
Okay. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
Being able to be my authentic self, in all honesty, when I don't have to have any false pretenses or, feel like I need to be somebody different than who I am.
Just be you.
Just being me is more than enough.
Awesome. Who would you say have been 3 of the most influential people in your life?
I would say Louise L. Hay, because reading that book was something that really opened my eyes. I would say my mom, and not because she's like me. In fact, she's the opposite, but it inspired me to do different and to be different. And I would say my daughter, because I look at her and it forced me to heal my inner child.
It's awesome that the kids can be an inspiration. I mean, just because they're younger doesn't mean they can't be inspiring.
They're our greatest teachers.
For
she
sure.
sat me down a couple of weeks ago and said to me, Mom, you and Dad need to get it together. You need to figure it out because we're tired. We're tired of it. We've been raised in this. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to see it. And don't take your anger out on us.
Wow.
And she's 14. She
That's
literally
incredible.
just turned 14 at the end of May. So she absolutely is my biggest teacher. She's always willing, and so is my son. They're always there to give me love, especially in those moments when I'm not able to receive it. They're like right there. They're right in my face. They're like pets that way,
Yeah.
When you're down or not feeling well, pets come to you. Kids are the same. They're the same.
They really don't get enough credit.
No.
We always look at them, they're kids, they don't understand, but they know a lot more than we think they do, for sure.
Oh, they're so much more tapped into their true essence than we are because we're tainted by life experiences.
Yes, they don't have those barriers and what's the word I'm looking for?
Conditioning.
And they're not jaded from life's experiences, right?
Yes. Or hardened.
That's right. That's
they're
right.
Still pure.
What do you feel most grateful for in your life?
I know a lot of people say they're kids. I would have to say for me, I'm most grateful for my health because without my health, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have them.
That's right. That's right. That's a good way of looking at it. How would you describe yourself in one word?
Authentic.
I love it. What's the first thing you notice about a person when you meet them?
Their energy.
Energy. Aside from necessities, what's one thing you could not go without?
A phone. My voice.
Isn't that just how things have changed so drastically from when we were kids?
I've always been a phone person. I've always been a phone person.
Gosh.
From elementary school, I always loved to talk on the phone.
Okay.
It was my way of connecting.
Okay. To what extent do you think we shape our own destiny and how much is up to fate?
I believe we all have a fate, and I believe that our choices impact the path that we take to our fate. So I believe that we are definitely co-creators,
Mm-hmm.
I feel, of our destiny. But I believe that there's something, sort of set out in our life. And then you either make the choices that are going to help get you there, or you're going to make the choices that are going to take you like on these detours.
Right. Interesting way of looking at it. If you were guaranteed the correct answer to one question in life, what would that question be? What would you ask?
I've been thinking about this one. This one, this is one that I've been a little bit stumped on, and I would say this is maybe more personal, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe not so profound to everyone, but I would just want to know if my dad suffered in those moments before he passed.
There's nothing wrong with that question. I think that's a great question. That's something that you want to know. So,
yeah.
Money or fame?
Neither.
Okay.
And I read that and I'm like, ooh, why is it just money or fame? Like, what about, peace? Because I don't know, like, I'm not driven by money. I'm not driven by money. I actually have been working to have a healthier relationship with it. And I don't believe I'm not interested in fame. I'm really just interested in that inner peace, because I believe if money or fame are of value to you, with that inner peace and inner confidence, you can attain those things and you can receive them. So for me, it's really the inner peace.
A lot of people have problems having relationships with money. They have negative relationships with money.
Yes.
It's a very tough thing.
Well, because it ties into your worth.
That's right.
And that sacral chakra.
There you go.
Right. And so I've had a lot of issues throughout my life, where I didn't value myself. I didn't know my worth. I didn't have self-love. And so I believe that it's important. It's necessary. It's absolutely necessary to have those things.
I think everything starts with self-love. Your whole journey, everything starts with the basis of self-love.
I know. And isn't it so crazy that to get to self-love, you have to do all these other sort of steps to get there? Yeah, like it's just not natural that we love ourselves. It's just so insane.
It is. When you think about it, it is.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't live without my phone. Really, I can't live without myself.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's get a grip.
Yeah. You're right, though. I mean, we love all these material things, no problems, no problem whatsoever. But to love ourselves is probably the hardest thing.
Yes, I would agree.
It's pretty sad, actually, when you think about it and look at it. Really, really look at that.
I know.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs.
It's a really distorted message that is consistent globally.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what age you are. It doesn't matter what race you are. It doesn't matter, which side of the tracks you live on. Like there are so many grown bodies walking around with the maturity of children.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
we get stumped where our traumas are.
You're right. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm the one that wakes the roosters. So I'm an early bird.
All right, then.
I wake the birds that wake the roosters.
That's hilarious. What's one thing people would never know about you just by looking at you?
That I'm actually really soft inside.
Okay. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Empowerment to me is, again, just being able to be myself and accepting it, loving it, and owning it.
Beautiful. I love that. What is one of your favorite quotes?
How you gonna win if you ain't right within? And that's Lauryn Hill.
That's awesome.
I love it because, again, it brings you back inside.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So there's so many, philosophers that I can quote, but I don't know, like Lauryn Hill, how you gonna win if you ain't right within is something that I feel like I need a tattoo of that.
There you go. It just resonates with you. That's it.
It's a reminder. It's just a reminder.
If you could sit and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
My dad. My dad. because he's missed out on so much of my life, and I didn't really have the strongest relationship with him prior to him passing. And so I would just love to hear what he's been observing from the other side and how he feels, because he was a very, quiet man. He was a man born in 1938, so they were a generation that really didn't speak a lot about their feelings.
Right.
And I would just love to know how, he feels about me. And if he could look within his own life to see if he understands why he had a massive heart attack. Because I feel like I can look at that and understand it.
Okay.
Not just from his lifestyle, but like emotionally, again, tapping into that emotional wellness.
Right. What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I ever received.
Or one of the pieces of best advice. Not necessarily the best, but...
I would say for all the people who, told me to believe in myself, that was probably that being repeated many times from many people was something that really made me think, like, why do they see more in me than I see in me?
Right.
So that would be, I would say, what has helped me the most in terms of advice.
Okay. How do you define success? What does that word mean to you, Lidia?
Success, I would say, is when you have a deeper understanding of who you are, what triggers you, what works for you. I would say that.
And finally, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Shine so friggin' bright that you blind everybody.
I love it. That's awesome. So positive and uplifting and optimistic. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lidia, so much for agreeing to be part of my mission and my community and helping me to share your story. And I appreciate you sharing a little slice of a view into your life and your journey and what you've been through and what you've done and accomplished. You should be very proud of what you've been able to accomplish to this point. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here as a guest today.
I'm so grateful that our paths crossed, and this has done, I would say, more for me than it's done for you. And I'm happy to participate any time that I can share my story in hopes of inspiring, informing, or empowering others. Really, it lights me up. So thank you. And I look forward to continuing to get to know you and finding ways for the two of us to work together to help others to feel empowered.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lidia. Your story is incredibly inspiring. So just keep doing what you do, keep on inspiring, and just keep being authentic you. I appreciate you, Lidia.
I appreciate you too, Brett. It's been a pleasure. So many blessings of good health, self-love, abundance, and happiness for today and all your tomorrows.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest has been Lidia Sicilia. She is the wellness warrior and host of Health and Wellness on 416 in the City. Have an amazing day, Lidia, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much, Brad. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.